Avoid desperate clients because they
How do
will.
you avoid them?
How?
How do you avoid desperate clients, John?
Well, it's almost like we keep repeating ourselves, but there's a reason for that because form follows function. How do you avoid desperate clients? Rules and boundaries.
You're telling
Funnily
me
enough,
it's not some shiny widget thing that I can install on my website and in my life, or a pill.
no, there's no fucking special NLP trick. You can wave your fingers and do funny things with your eyes and make them confess their sins. You know, I'm afraid there's no language construct for this. It's simply, okay, I can't watch their body language, see how their eyes are moving. That's all bollocks. Just have rules and boundaries. One of them is, if it sounds too good to be fucking true, it probably is.
Yeah.
I think the don't get involved in businesses you don't understand is a good one.
That is a good one. It's
Because
a very good one.
The
And
devil
you
is
always get paid for your work.
The devil is always in the detail.
Yeah.
You know, people have come to me before. In fact, there's a guy now, he wants to grow like a membership thing. He doesn't want to join foundations because he doesn't want to be in a group of people, which is, I understand that. And I was thinking, well, how can I help him one-on-one without doing it one-on-one? And it kind of occurred to me, I probably can't easily because it's so involved. There's so much detail. It's easy to say on the surface of it, oh, it's easy. You put up a website and you get your message right, and then you get people along, you give them a lead magnet, and then you sell them. But how do you do that? Well, there's so many subtleties involved. That's why people like you and me have a fucking job. If it was dead straightforward, I mean, 80-20 applies here. So yeah, raise your prices, but you get to a point when if you want to raise them even further, it requires different kinds of language in your sales process, different stages in your sales process, different kinds of positioning. How do you do that? Well, that depends entirely on your situation. We take each case on its merits. That's why people pay us a fuckload of money to be in Main Building Elite, because they get that extra detail from us, that one-on-one. Well, you can't do that just by reading a book. You can't get that level of detail. It's all comes from experience. That's why we get the big buck, because I've been in this for 20 years nearly. You know, and there's probably not a situation I've never come across by now in someone's business. Even to the extent I might say, you know what, I've come across this before and I didn't know how to fix it then. I know how to fix it now. So you're on your own. You know, seriously.
And this is what happened to them. They died. So good luck.
Yeah, it's avoid taking on desperate clients and other bad clients by having rules and boundaries. And that the easy way to do that is, rather than focusing on, here's a shortcut to do it. Rather than having a set of rules which say what you won't tolerate, have rules to say what you will tolerate. They say that there's a kind of tongue-in-cheek description of tongue-in-cheek definitions of socialism and capitalism, or a free society. In a free society, everything is permitted unless forbidden, and in a socialist society, everything's forbidden unless permitted. Yeah. Well, I suggest, for the one time in my life, the only place I will say is, when it comes to your rules in your business, everything's forbidden unless you permit it.
Yeah.
So you only allow certain behavior, you don't disallow behaviors. Yeah. There's a subtle difference there. But again, that difference is subtle but huge. And I suggest, in your rules and boundaries, rather than saying what you will not tolerate, talk about what you will tolerate. And that means the kinds of businesses you will tolerate, the kind of behaviors you'll tolerate. For me, it's as simple as, if someone will not take my instructions of, this is how we communicate, email only, we don't talk, but they keep pushing like someone else, and we don't do it. I had one guy say, I don't want to do email, I prefer talking. And I just said, well, that's unfortunate, because I'm autistic and I prefer writing. So it looks like, you know, it's never going to work. And that was it. Never heard from him again. Well, fine. I don't care about that, because that was it. That was my boundary. So take this is the one time I'm going to say this, take the fucking prohibitive view, the prohibition view. Everything's prohibited unless you allow it, when it comes to what you would accept from clients and your rules.
And people should be writing these things down, even if it is blatantly fucking obvious.
Yeah,
you might feel silly, but you must state the blatant fucking obvious.
Until you become au fait with it, write these rules down and stick them on your fucking screen if your screen's big enough at the side or something, and remind yourself of them. You know, people think nothing. This is how bizarre it is, right? People, the advice often, and people think nothing of it. You know, they don't think anything strange about it. To write your goals on a piece of paper and carrying them around in your pocket wouldn't work for me, I don't think. But yeah, if it works for people, and it is good sound advice. Well, what's equally sound advice is to have your fucking rules written down on a piece of paper and carry those around in your pocket too. How is that different from a goal? Because it's basically saying what you will and will not allow in your life. Well, that's all a goal is, really. A goal is aspirational. Rules are what? Pretty much the same. There's not a lot to choose between them.
No,
and they're just as
not
important.
really.
All right? So if you've got rules, write them down and fucking carry them with you. Remind yourself of them every day. Hey, didn't they do that in Christianity with the Lord's fucking Prayer? Isn't the Lord's Prayer about a set of rules?
Yep. We should do that. The foundations.
No, we are not doing that. Mind you, I've got the prayer for the EBG. Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't.
I'll send you the link to it. Yeah, we've got the prayer.
Send me that. Send me that.
It's done in the same tone and cadence as the Lord's Prayer. It's our EBG, who are Team Court. That was done by my elites on my 50th, I think.